We thought it was over, but nope. We got even more screenshots and a brand new trailer for the Jellyfish Fields level in Spongebob Rehydrated, so let's dive right into it. How's it going, everyone? Blueknight here, and welcome back to yet another Spongebob Rehydrated video. And I hope you're ready again, because yesterday THQ Nordic not only announced the release date for the game, but also numerous screenshots and bits of info, which I covered in my previous video. If you'd like to check it out, the card is in the top right corner. Anyways, shortly after posting yesterday's video, it was brought to my attention in the comments section for that video that there were numerous new screenshots that I apparently missed. They sent me the link to them on Twitter. Lo and behold, there they are. I then knew it was time to start working on a follow-up video. But if you guys want to check out these screenshots yourself, the link to them will be in the description below. And to add to the pile of things to discuss, THQ Nordic went ahead and released another trailer, but this time for the Jellyfish Fields level, today, which I will be breaking down later on in the video. Now without further ado, let's begin with the new screenshots. The first one comes from inside Squidward's house, and right off the bat I can notice some changes to the layout. The big indicator is the huge painting of Squidward is right next to the fireplace instead of being over by the shelf like in the original. Also, the Squidward bust, which was lighter in color and on the floor in the original, is now darker and it's above the fireplace. The trophy Squidward with the antlers is pretty much exactly the same as the original, with the addition of the piece of decor behind it. In the original, Squidward had a fire going in his fireplace. Now it's completely out. Whether or not this change is to reference a specific episode, like say Snowball Effect or Life of Crime, I couldn't exactly say for sure. And of course, they stuck this meme into this area too. You guys, you can't get enough of this, can you? Final thing for this image is Squidward himself. He's now standing in front of the fireplace as opposed to being by the windows in the original. But for all I know, this could just be for promotional reasons and doesn't reflect the final version of the game. Next one is of King Jellyfish. The thing about this one, I think it's mainly for promotional purposes. Reason being is that this is neither from the boss battle, nor the cutscene before it. So it's kind of interesting. This one is from downtown Bikini Bottom, with Mrs. Puff being the main focus, which is our first in-game look at her character. And honestly, she looks good in-game. Now what I really like about this image is that it basically captures the theme of most of her episodes. You guys are geniuses. We got another screenshot from Goo Lagoon, this time focusing on the sandcastle portion of the level. Not a whole lot to really point out about this one except for the Atari controller Easter egg, and that the flag colors were switched from I think blue in the original to orange in Rehydrated. I mean, was this change really necessary? Moving on, we get to Rock Bottom, one of my favorites. So there's a few things here we can notice. One of them is the new addition of bioluminescent sea life to, I guess, light up the area a bit more, and of course, add more color and brightness. The second thing we notice is that next to Mrs. Puff is a sign for Rock Bottom, which didn't exist in the original. And the third thing we can spot is the collectible artwork, but this one's positioning was slightly changed from being in front of a rock in the original. In Rehydrated, it's now on top of a rock. It's a minor change that, I guess, makes a bit more sense. This screenshot gives us our second ever look at the Murmur Lair, specifically the starting area, and our first looks at Merman and Barnacle Boy. The difference here is, 1. Merman's belt being golden rather than blue. I personally find this to be a rather odd change considering that it's always been blue since the third season, which the same color was used in the original game. But it was golden in the show's first 2 seasons, so it's obvious they're referencing those earlier episodes here. Barnacle Boy also appears to be doing a new idle animation, whereas before, I don't think he really did anything. Like, at all. Oh, he rubs his nose. Even though this is just a screenshot, I cannot tell if they fixed his mouth during the talking segments or not. In the original, they were pretty much just hinge. Yeah, they most likely fixed this. Aside from these two, this machine or computer behind them has been given this glowing treatment, including the centerpiece which didn't glow or anything in the original, and a new satellite antenna was added on the top of it. In the back we can see one of the level's many hazards, the changing floor tiles of the disco floor, still retaining the blue and red colors. These can also be seen in the following screenshot of Prawn, who is the boss of this level. Again, he looks pretty good here. The next screenshot is of Sandy sliding and Sand Mountain. We can't see a whole lot of this level aside from the snow-capped peaks. For the most part, I think they got her jumping animation just right here. Kelp Forest. I've been really curious to see how they'd handle this level due to some fans' issues with it being too dark, which results in not exactly knowing what to do. Well, they remedied it all perfectly. The level isn't as dark as it used to be, brighter but not lit up too much as to take away from what the original's atmosphere was. I really like what I'm seeing here. Also, this picnic table now has an umbrella on it. I'd imagine this can be jumped on, but I'd also imagine it doesn't make anything easier and that you won't get far by doing so. Next, we return to the Flying Dutchman's graveyard with a look at the Dutchman's ship. I really like this image, as it and the whole level itself gives off an incredibly eerie, haunted feel to it, especially with the moon being as big and green as it is. And that's the first big difference I notice here. In the original, the moon isn't that size, nor is it bright green. Heck, it's even on the opposite side of the ship than the original. The second difference here is the main sail in the center of the ship does not have the Dutchman's pirate insignia like the original. Instead, it's blank. But speaking of the sails, you can see the moonlight shining through them with the shadows of the wooden beams being visible. Very nice attention to detail there. Third and final difference here is the windows. Compared to the original, they now put off this glowing blue light. You know, to add to the spooky nature of the level. Another screenshot of the Dutchman's graveyard, this time our first look at the Flying Dutchman himself. And oh boy, they did a fantastic job with him. A perfect translation. But this appears to be the arena area that we seen in yesterday's trailer, with the destroyed robot ship on the right, the bus stop and large gap that only Sandy can traverse here. Exception being, it doesn't look as dark here. My guess is that this particular screenshot is from the recreated cutscene leading up to the battle with the Dutchman.
See, Weasel, all them's fighting words.
And we got another look at Spongebob Squarepants alongside Roboplankton. There are two things I didn't mention in the previous video regarding this boss. One, you can see individual bolts all over Robo Spongebob. And two, making the eyes transparently dark just adds this really creepy factor to the boss. I really didn't think of it too much until I saw this particular image. Still, it's a nice touch. Another Robo Spongebob image, then one of Robo Patrick. I'm going to have to assume that this image is showing Robo Patrick sitting down because he made himself dizzy. But this thing right here is what I'm still puzzled with. Is that part of the background or Robo Patrick? If it is that where the self-destruct button is located behind this flap? What do you guys think? Next up is Robo Sandy. Can't see too much of a face here, but still looks pretty good. The shoe part is now darker than the original, while the arms are not completely the same color as the center of the body. This particular image is, I assume, from the cutscene after defeating Robo Sandy. And the final three screenshots I think are just promotional image and don't reflect any actual spot in the game, with SpongeBob, Patrick Star, and Sandy Cheeks all standing among the piles of busted robot parts. Once again, we're not done just yet because I still gotta break down all the new pieces of footage from the new Jellyfish Fields trailer, but some of it features areas that we've seen before, so I'm just going to talk about the new stuff. Alright, this cutscene kinda grew on me. We see a bit of the arena area where we have to rescue Patrick. Not too much to really say about this one. A quick bit of footage with Tartar in action outside of the King Jellyfish area, and he goes down with one hit. Now, I'm just going to assume that whoever recorded that specific piece of footage had already hit Tartar one time before this particular segment. A wall jumping sequence, something we haven't seen in motion yet. I do instantly notice that performing the wall jump is a lot faster than the original, but also it takes less jumps to reach the top. The original took about 7 for this exact wall jump. In Rehydrated, it now only takes 4. Either they shortened the wall or increased the jump distance, or something of the sort. Who knows? But maybe this will be easier. I doubt it. There's then a quick glimpse into the recreated Tartar intro cutscene, which is pretty cool and almost one-to-one with the original, at least until we see Patrick. Yeah, he looks a bit more goofy here compared to the original, where he's more scared than anything. I was actually a little mixed when I first seen this, but after playing the exact clip over and over again, I just started bursting into laughter for something they added here, or maybe because I had it on repeat and it looked funnier that way. When throwing the throw through and activating this button, which now has balloons attached to it, to lower the bamboo path, it just goes down. Just straight down, clipping right through the dang platform. In the original, they go down, but in different directions, and don't clip through the platform. I mean, huh? Who approved this? Nothing all that special about this next sequence, except for our first look at the Tikis. They look pretty one-to-one with the original, with the addition of more glowing bits. Inside of Jellyfish Caves, we can see Patrick traversing these platforms in the water. In the original, they were corks. I don't know what they are now in Rehydrated, but they at least look like they fit in the world of SpongeBob now. And way in the back here, we can see the spikes. Oh dear golly, them things are huge compared to the original. I guess they didn't want anyone cheesing these areas by jumping between certain spots in the spikes. I mean, that's what I do. The colors have also changed from the bluish color to more of a greenish color, which I guess makes a bit more sense since it's a more natural color in a cave. The part of the cave where Patrick has to freeze the water to grab this sock, well, the sock is in the exact same spot as the original. We get to see the sliding section after the King Jellyfish battle, and it's mostly sand now compared to the bluish looking slippery rocks of the original. I get they added more sand textures throughout the entire level of Jellyfish Fields, but I think it was a little bit excessive here. The sock located on the shortcut is still there, obviously. But after collecting it, we can see it displayed in the heads-up display. Again, it's still static, same for the shinies, but the difference compared to the Gamescom and PAX East demos and this trailer is that the text and the icons have switched sides. Even the shiny counter changes color while collecting shinies, sort of like how the gem counter behaves in the Spyro Reignited trilogy. Then the trailer ends with the King Jellyfish defeated cutscene. We did get to see this in the Gamescom demo, but now a bit more polished, if not a bit brighter. Again, this could just be the capture card that was used. Okay guys, this is it for the trailer breakdown and analysis. But before I go, I want to let you guys know that there is a pre-order bonus over on Steam, where if you pre-order the game on PC right now, you'll be getting all 15 music tracks in the game fully remastered. Rehydrated, I should say. And we were given a slight sampling of these remastered tracks in the past two trailers and went over my head completely and I didn't notice. But take a quick listen to the comparison of the Jellyfish Fields music.
Can't take it!
Anyways guys, that's going to basically do it for today's video. So what do you guys think about all this? Excited for Rehydrated? Did I leave anything else out? Be sure to let me know in the comments section below, and also be sure to stay tuned to the channel for even more SpongeBob Rehydrated content and news as it happens. Once again, thank you all so much for watching and supporting the channel. I've been Blueknight, and I'll see you guys back here next time. Goodbye!